Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are currently on a catfish farm. We want to find out how profitable catfish is. We hear a lot of people giving good testimonies about catfish production, but I'm here with a gentleman who has over 4 years of experience and is still being profitable. So we are here to speak with him how he has managed to be profitable all this year. He's doing something special. He's actually cutting down 40% on eating catfish. If this is your first time, consider subscribing and share this video.
I am Joshua Inim, the founder of Jackdown Farms. At Jackdown Farms, what we do is to provide aquaculture services to interested persons. So I am an electrical engineer as well before getting into the aquaculture industries. Started way back 4 years ago. We started with poultry farming, but then we converted to fish farm. I was actually learning more about poultry, and then I came across these catfish videos on YouTube. So I jumped into it, and then I developed the interest. So
what made you quit the poultry production?
Okay, at the time we were inexperienced. Yes, we were just trying to find our feet in the business, but then we faced so many challenges as to face diseases and so forth. So as I was trying to find solutions online, I came across the fish farming, so quickly we jumped into it. I realized that the fish farming, I had more interest in the fish farming than the poultry, so basically that is it.
When you say interest, well, what really made the interest more?
Okay, I would say 1, profit margin. 2, the risk in catfish farming is a bit lesser than the risk involved in poultry farming. So these are the 2 major reasons I debated, yes.
So this is a business. You know, in every business, starting is a bit difficult. Can you tell us about how can anybody do catfish?
Oh yes. Anybody at all can venture into fish farming. You know, we have nurses, engineers, doctors, masons, carpenters, all professions getting into fish farming. All you need is the right training. That is the key. You get the right training, the right mentorship, and you can do that.
What will it take for you to run a successful catfish?
Okay, just as I said, the right mentorship program and then training. You know, when you acquire the right training, you know all what you are getting into. Starting from the setup, what is required for you to set a catfish farm. You also know the expectations when it comes to feeding and then maybe marketing as well. So it's quite an easy sail through if you get the right mentorship.
Let's say I want to get a nice setup like you. What are the things that I'll need? Of course, land is part. What are
Yes. So before you even set a catfish farm up, you first need to consult a specialist. Yes, the specialist will conduct a feasibility study on the land that you have to ascertain which type of pond or system that will best suit your land. So basically, if you already have the land, you have 3 options. You have the option to go in for a concrete pond after the feasibility study, a tarpaulin pond, an earthen pond. Maybe if you have a river or something close to you, you can also consider the cage system. So it doesn't really require high capital, but then you can start on a small scale, a backyard fish farm or a small scale fish farm. Anywhere you want to just start it, you can go ahead and start it. But then you need the feasibility study from a consultant.
Is catfish production very capital intensive?
Yes, it's capital intensive in the production cycle. The setup doesn't really require much, but then during your production cycle, the cost of feed is something else. Yes.
Okay, can you run us through some of the value chains, like if maybe I want to fit myself in somewhere?
Okay, so the aquaculture industry comes with a lot of value chains, starting from farm input suppliers, that is those who sell feed, fish net, scoop net, test kits. They are all considered as the farm input suppliers. And then it goes down to the hatching or breeding So those who breed the catfish from the larval stage to maybe fingerlings or juveniles and sell them off to the grow-out production. So the grow-out production is also another value chain, that is people starting with fingerlings or juveniles and ending up with either smoking size or table size fish or brood fish, yes. And it also moves from the grow-out production to processing. Those who buy the fresh or live catfish and process them into sausages, other products as well. So it's quite a long value chain. You just need to identify where your interest is and where you can fit in best.
So which of them do you do currently?
Okay. Currently we are into training, which is also classified as the farm input. We are also into farm setups, farm design and setups. We are also into breeding, that is production of fingerlings and juveniles. We are also into the grow-out production, and we are currently also selling farm inputs. So we are basically, yes.
Wait. Did you start all this at once or?
No. We started with the grow-out production. I think that is the easiest value chain in fish farming. In the production cycle, the production value chain, the grow-out production is the easiest. Yes.
So when you say grow-out production, can you elaborate on that?
Okay, so the grow-out production is basically buying fingerlings, fishes at the fingerling stage, and growing them to smoking size or table size. The smoking size is the fishes that we normally smoke, that is from 300 grams to 700 or 800 grams are classified as smoking size. And then the table size fishes are 1 kg and above. Those are the ones we sell to the grills. Yeah.
Okay. So among these chains, which of them is more profitable in business-wise?
I would say they are all profitable if done right. Yes, because let's say considering the hatching and then the grow-out production, the hatching requires less time. The duration, let's say 1 month to 2 months, you can sell off your fingerlings or juveniles. And then with the grow-out production, it requires 6 months. But the capital required to set up a catfish hatchery is more. The expenditure in your production cycle is also more. So they are all profitable, I must say. But it's just that you have to identify where you think you fit best.
So let's say you're a consultant. How long have you been in this business?
4 years.
4 years, okay. Let's say I'm interested in what you're saying, and I have, let's say, 50,000, and I want you to guide me to maybe one of the chain that is very profitable, that I can make, let's say, 200,000. Where would you direct me?
Okay, so I would say investing in the grow-out production is your best option. The reason is that the grow-out production, as I said earlier, is much easier than the hatchery. And then, yes, basically, you can invest in the grow-out production because it's much easier to succeed in the grow-out production than the hatchery. The second option is probably looking at farm input. That is where people don't really have interest in, but that is also another value chain that sells a lot. So,
when you say farm input, like the feed and stuff?
Yes, the feed, the test kit, the scoop net, anything that we use in our production cycle. Yes.
Oh, okay. Jagdan, is catfish farming really profitable?
Yes, it is profitable if done well. I brought the if condition because people start production without really knowing their intended market or where to sell them off. As part of our training sections, if you attend our training, we educate you on how to conduct proper market survey. Conducting a proper market survey before your production cycle can lead you to your potential buyers. So you need to know what the customers demand before going into the production. As in, if your customer demands smoking size fish or the area you are living in, if smoking size fishes are in high demand, you need to go into the production of smoking size fish. But people end up producing, let's say, table-sized fishes, where probably the demand is on smoking-sized fish. So market survey is everything. It's profitable, yes. Catfish farming is profitable, but it needs to be done well.
Let's go back. You have been doing this for 4 years. Can you remember what you did in the first year, like the process for starting?
Yes. I made a lot of mistakes. Yes, a lot of mistakes because I didn't really have a formal training on catfish farming. I started fish farming without even seeing a live catfish before. So I made a lot of mistakes in my production cycle. I just thought fish farming is all about getting a pond, stocking your pond with catfish and then feeding it. No, it goes way beyond that. You need to know how to test your water perimeters because fishes are what they eat, where they live, and what is around them, how comfortable they are. So you need to know these things, how to test your water perimeters. You need to know how to identify quality feed, and you need to know, there are so many things you need to know.
How many catfish did you start with?
I started with 1,000 catfish and I ended up with 200 and something fishes. So I lost them due to mortality, disease, so many factors. So.
Were you doing it in the pond or?
Yes, on commercial basis, I started with 1,000 capacity pond. That was 15 by 15 pond. That is where I started. That is how I started, and then scale out.
Wait, if you made such a huge loss, why did you stay here?
It was mainly due to lack of training. Yes, if I had the required knowledge, then I would have changed a lot of things. As in, where I bought my fingerlings from, I wouldn't have gone there. I wouldn't have buy from the hatchery because the fishes came with infections. I didn't know. I stopped, and then they ended up dying. I wouldn't have purchased the feed, the brand of feed I used. I would have changed it. A lot of things, even the type of pond I used, I would have sterilized it before introducing my fishes. I had zero knowledge on that. So.
How much did you sell? How did you market and how much did you sell?
Okay, so I ended up making a loss because I didn't really know the actual price. I was in the haste to sell my fishes. So I ended up selling them somewhere 70% or 50% lesser than the price, the current price in the market. I remember I sold them 12 cedi per kilo. But then as at that time, catfish was selling around 24 cedis per kilo. These are all part of the market survey I didn't conduct.
How did you get that market?
Because I was in the haste, I was frustrated. I didn't really have the knowledge as to where to sell them off. I contacted someone, he also brought in a buyer, and then I just gave everything to him. The next day, I had someone who was willing to even buy at 25 cedis. So,
wow.
That is it.
The second production. Wait, in that same year, how many productions did you do?
I did 2 productions.
So how did the second production go?
It was way better because after the first production, I went in for a formal training where I had enough knowledge to start the production cycle, and then it ended well. So it was mainly a success in the second cycle.
Do you remember how much you made from the second product?
I think these details. So I stocked the second cycle. I stocked 2,000 fishes, and I was able to sell a kilo at 30 cedis a kilo. As at that time, I realized catfish was being sold for 25 cedis, but you know, as I had the experience in the first cycle, I bargained for a better price, and the fishes were quite huge. So I sold a kilo for 30 cedis, and I stocked 2,000. I ended up with around 1,800 kilos. That is almost 2 tons. So you can imagine the investment was around.
So you lost only 200?
Yes, I lost 200 during the production cycle. So it was something good.
Well, what was the total investment like?
It was around, I think 32,000. And then I ended up with, it was around, the total, it was around, I think 18,000. And I made around 32,000 because I sold some.
Okay.
Yes, I sold some.
And since then, the third year, what the capacity?
The third year I scaled up. I was around 5,000 capacity, and I can't really give the details of it. But it was a success. The fourth year, we are around 8,000 capacity.
So currently around 8,000.
Yes.
Okay. So how have you been able to deal with some of the challenges like cost of feeding?
Okay. As part of what I learned in my training, because I went for training from several schools in the aquaculture industry, so I came across supplementary feed. So I'm using supplementary feeds like Azula, duckweed, Wolfia. I have about 4 supplementary feeds available at my farm, and it helps reduce my production cost to about 40%. Yes.
40%?
40%.
So if others are spending like 20,000 on feed,
yes.
You are doing like
yes. Let's say if I'm to spend 10,000 on feed, now I'm spending around 6,000 because I feed 40% supplementary feed, Azula, duckweed, Wolfia, and then 60% commercial feed.
Whoa! Tilapia way big like that. Wait, so Josh, what in terms of feeding, what are you feeding them with?
Okay, so just as I said in the earlier video, we feed them with 60% pelleted feed. There is a commercial feed, and then 40% of the Azula. So Azula or duckweed. So this is the 60% as calculated. You can see how healthy they are, how active they are.
But they are too big. How many months?
These are 6 months old. And they are having an average weight of 1.2 kilos.
1.2 kilos.
Yes.
What's the best weight? Like the weight that if you reach, I go to say no, this one is extra.
Normally, unhealthy fish will attain, let's say, 1 kg in 6 months. So if you get anything above 1 kg, it's a plus for you.
Oh, okay.
But in 6 months, you should be able to get some weighing above, let's say, around 1.5 to 2 kg. But it wouldn't be all of your stock, definitely.
So tell me about the feeding. Like, I know people have ratio and stuff. What's up with that one too?
Yeah, so basically I feed my matured fishes. I feed them with 1.5% of their body weight biomass in the pond, 1.5% of it. So that is my feeding rate.
Okay. In terms of the one you just fed them, what was the size?
This was around 1 kg, but I'll be feeding them with 5 kg.
No, I mean the size. Like
8 mm.
8 mm.
This is 8 mm feed. Yes.
So can you run me through the feed and the courses and the best brand that has worked for you so far?
Okay, so for best brand, I'm coming to advertise for these people for free. No worries. So the best brands in Ghana that I have used is the Ale Aqua and then the Coupons.
Okay.
Yes, they are equally good. And then the locally manufactured feeds, talk about Enampa and then Ranan. Yes. So the trick is that because the foreign feeds are always expensive, they are twice as expensive as the local feed. So what we do is that from the start of your production cycle, let's say from your fingerling stage to at least, let's say 2 months away from your fingerling stage, you feed them with the foreign feeds, which will help boost their immune system, like boost their growth rate, and then switch to local feed in, let's say, from the 2nd month or 3rd month going. Because if you feed them with foreign feeds, you end up making a loss. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's very expensive. 2 mm foreign feed is selling at 380 Ghana cedis, and then the 2 mm local feed is currently selling around 270 Ghana cedis. So that's around 120 or 100 Ghana cedis difference.
Well, so you don't produce your own feed?
I don't have the feed machine here. That's the extruder machine. I've installed some for other clients. So what I do is to buy my food stuff, go there and produce, and then bring it to my farm. Yes, but it's not always. Yes,
It's not always. Okay. With this system, I know this system and the other system. Which one best works for you?
To be honest, the Earthen systems are more reliable, and then in terms of feed cost, you end up spending less in the Earthen system, Earthen ponds. The advantage of the Earthen pond over the tarpaulin pond and then the concrete pond is that the Earthen pond comes with, it's something close to their natural habitat. They feel more comfortable in the Earthen pond. And the Earthen pond also adds an additional source of feed, live feed for them because of the phytoplanktons that grows in the pond, living organisms like worms and other living organisms that they feed on. So it's like an extra source of food for your fishes. They grow faster in the Earthen pond. Yes. Unless in a RAS system that you can optimize these conditions. So in a RAS system, you can also optimize these conditions, yes.
Currently, you have been constructing it for others. How much will it cost to set up something like this?
10 by 10 feet tarpaulin pond will cost you around 3,500. And then to construct a 10 by 10 feet Earthen pond will cost you something around 3,000 Ghana cedis. But the issue is that the Earthen ponds are more robust because it doesn't, it lasts. Yes, the Earthen pond lasts, and you don't get to change water. Yes.
Was this dug by laborers or?
Yes, by machine.
Machine.
Yeah, it was a machine dug and arranged by. This was the first Earthen pond that I constructed.
Okay.
Yes, this is the first Earthen pond that I constructed. So we had a lot of challenges, but then.
It has how many years now?
It's around. It has been here around 2 to 3 years. Yes.
Why didn't you use the duckweed or the Azula inside?
Yes, this pond was mainly dug for Azula production. That is what I was using this pond for. It wasn't meant for fish. That is why the bags are a bit scattered. Okay. Yes, it wasn't really meant for fish production, but I just decided to stock mine. These are broodstocks. I'm looking to stock these fishes for 2 years. Okay. So it's best to stock them in this because if I run them in a RAS system for 2 years, it wouldn't be economical.
Yes. Wait, I don't know anything about broodstock.
Broodstock are matured fishes, aging around above one year. Fishes that are above 1 year, we use them to produce the fingerlings.
Oh, okay.
So we keep them for, the best age should be around 1 year, 6 months upwards. We use them to produce the fingerlings, yes.
And they also eat the Azula?
They also eat the Azula. The Azula is something miraculous for livestock production.
So why don't bears feed on them?
Bears feed on Azula, rabbits feed on Azula, chickens feed on Azula, fishes.
Wait, we'll do a video, exclusive video on that
sure.
magic Azula. But why don't you grow them on top so that you don't end up feeding?
These are matured fishes. Before I stocked them, it was full of Azula and duckweed, but they finished.
They finish everything. Let's feed them. Let's see. Let's feed them
with the Azula. Okay. So basically, this is my scoop net.
Okay.
All you have to do is to come every morning and then scoop some part. Just drop it inside the pond, and they will take care of it.
Wow. This one, they are not rushing like the feed.
Yeah, yes, because these fishes are very intelligent.
How did you acquire your Azula?
Okay, I bought from one friend from Thailand. So I got it from him. I got 1 kilo from him, and then it's been 3 years. And I've been selling that 1 kilo. I can't give you the exact money I've made out of that 1 kilo, but it multiplies rapidly. 1 kilo of Azula can produce around 10 kilos in 7 days. So imagine.
Can you solely feed all your fishes on Azula? Have you tried that?
No, I think people are doing that. I experimented on it. I fed my catfish with only Azula and duckweed for 3 months. The result wasn't bad, but then the fishes were big in size, but then their weight was very low, and catfish are being sold with their weight. So the next cycle, I started feeding them with 60% conventional or pelleted feed and then 40% Azula, and that is quite good. If you're able to reduce your production cost by 40%, I think it's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Duckweed and Azula doesn't have all the required nutrients. We must know that they don't contain all the required nutrients that a fish needs to achieve optimum growth. They don't.
Is it difficult to market catfish currently?
The honest truth, I wouldn't answer it on my own, but the honest truth is generally I think it's difficult. Yes, it's difficult because I receive calls a lot. I have catfish and I'm unable to sell them. Can you kindly find me a buyer? Yes, but then what happens is that we that have been in the business for a while, we also have our clients, people who patronize us. They buy our fingerlings, we set up farms for them. So we always prioritize them. If you buy the fingerlings from us and the client needs matured catfish, we direct them to you. So I receive a lot of calls online, at least 10 a day, requesting that I have fishes and then I want someone to buy them off. Yes. Eventually the trick is that eventually you get a buyer, but you need to start advertising ahead. If you know your fishes will be matured enough or you want to sell them off in 3 months' time, let's say in 6 months' time, at the 4th month or 5th month, you need to start marketing. You need to start marketing because definitely there will be shooters in your stock that probably in 6 months they will be somewhere around 1 kg. So at the 5th month, if you know you'll be selling them off at the 6th month, 5th month you need to start marketing. That is the secret. But people wait till the 6th month and then they start marketing. And if it doesn't come within a week or 2, frustration sets in, and someone will come price your fishes for you, and then they will be at the mercy of the market women. Yes, I should say.
What are some of the platforms that so far has worked for you in terms of marketing?
In terms of marketing, yeah, social media marketing works. Joining associations also works because we have associations that help sell our feed off, our fishes off, and personal marketing. I mean, conducting
one-on-one.
Yes, one-on-one. Go to this. Everything is now aggressive. The country you have to be aggressive. You have to walk, go in there, go to supermarkets, pitch your smoked catfish to them. If they get it, fine, you can sell them off there. Go to the market women, tell them you have fishes, you can smoke, or you sell them off as fresh fish. Get into processing. You have to be aggressive in this business, yes.
In terms of being aggressive, and you are gainfully employed and you have a very tight schedule. How have you stayed successful and consistent with this farm? Because workers, I believe you also have your.
Yes,
How
I've
do you
had
do
my
that?
own share. I've had my own share. Everything you need to be dedicated. Yes, first thing you need to be dedicated. You need to be interested in what you are doing. You need to be interested. You have to be dedicated. I employed farm hands. They came in, messed up my production. Even after production, during sales, you don't have to.
No, I want those stories. Maybe someone to visit the same.
I produced grow out fishes, and I also opened a grill, a fish grill, where what we normally call the point and kill grill. I had one. So after production, I send my fishes there, process it, and then sell them. And then the profit margin was quite good. It was good, better than selling your fishes off fresh. But then, just as you said, my tight schedule, working as an electrical engineer, combining fish farming, and also the time to go to the grow to supervise all that, it was very stressful. So I left everything to the guy I employed, and it was a long story. I lost big time, so the decision was to close down the grill for some time and then reopen.
What were some of the ways that you lost?
Okay.
And how did you find out?
Okay, I think these are some things that I wouldn't be able to open up fully on your platform. Imagine producing a fish from a fingerling stage to the table size, that is around 1 kg and above. You spend 6 months in your production cycle. You open a grill, and then let's say the attendant some way somehow finds ways to even bypass one fish. That means you've lost in the production cycle, like the grow out production, you've lost in the hatching production. That is why I opted out. But some of the ways they use to squander these fishes are probably buying from other sources to sell at your grill. That is one way that these guys sometimes find to, let's say, steal from you. If you are selling fishes at the grill, they go out to buy from other farms and then use your source, your literally everything that you've purchased to prepare that fish and sell them off. So that is basically one way that they use to. So many challenges in fish farming, especially in your production cycle. Anyone that you employ to take care of your fishes must have the passion, because with fish farming you need to regularly test your water parameters, regularly change your water if the parameters get out of range, and if the person is not well educated or have the interest to do that, you can lose so many fishes overnight. So these are things, the person you employ must be a person you can rely on. Other than that, you totally lose in your production cycle. Very important in fish farming, biosecurity, because the minute you introduce infection in your pond, even with poultry, that one fowl can be infected and you can easily identify it. These ones, your fishes are in water, so it is difficult to identify an infected fish. Yes. So biosecurity is very important in the sense that you have to implement even primary biosecurity measures, secondary biosecurity measures, and tertiary biosecurity measures. Primary biosecurity measures being the prevention of infections from other farms to your farm. So if anybody is visiting your farm, you can do with foot bath, you can do with hand bathing. These small measures are very important. Having disinfectants at your farm is very important to ward off the introduction of pathogens or infections from other farms to your farm. Secondary biosecurity measures being the prevention of spread of disease within your farm. Let's say if you have 2 ponds and then one pond is infected with whatever infection, the measures you put in place to prevent it from spreading to another pond is what is called secondary biosecurity measures. And then the tertiary biosecurity measures is probably boosting the immune system of your stock, of your fishes, to prevent the infection to even happen. Yes. So biosecurity measures is very important on fish farm.
What would be your advice to someone who's interested in
a catfish farm?
Yeah.
So one, you must have the training before you even consult a specialist. Just get the training. It is very important. Get a formal training in catfish farming and then proceed to consulting a specialist to set up your farm or guide you to set up your farm. Because if you don't acquire the training, when the consultant is doing something different, when the so-called specialist is doing something wrong, how would you know? You wouldn't know. But after getting the training, you know what is required from the consultant. It is very important, because I've had farms that they consulted a specialist to set up the farm. A pond that can accommodate only 1,000 fishes, because the person is also running a hatchery. He sold about 4,000, 6,000 fishes to be stocked in a 1,000 capacity pond, just because he wants to sell off his stock. So these are things that you have to get. You have to get the required knowledge, so that when someone is leading you to a wrong path, you can tell the person, hey, no, this is not right, and I'm not doing it. Yes. The other thing is that you need to ensure that the market is there for you to produce. If you don't have any intention or you don't have any intended market, please don't start your production at all. Please don't start your production, because you will produce and end up being frustrated, and you'll be at the mercy of these agents and then market women. So have the market before you produce. Yes.
I can see you have two types of systems here.
Okay. Yes. We have about 3 types of systems here. We have the Earthen ponds. As you can see, these are Earthen ponds that we stock our broodstocks and matured fishes in. We also have the tarpaulin pond, which we are running a RAS system on. RAS system is a recirculating aquaculture system where water is being recycled and returned into the pond, clean and safe for your fishes. So we don't change water at all in our tarpaulin ponds. Yes.
Is that expensive?
It's not expensive. Every recirculating aquaculture system must be designed in such a way that it will fit into your production. I mean, you have to factor in, because a recirculating aquaculture system requires electricity. I, being an electrical engineer, I'm able to size my pumps and then aerators very well in order not to consume so much energy. And we are running the system on solar. The commercial power is just a backup supply.
And this system can be
Yes, we do farm setups. We are currently setting up a farm at in Sawim, a 20,000 capacity, running on a recirculating aquaculture system. We are also setting up a farm in Kaswa. That one is also about 15,000 capacity, running on recirculating aquaculture system. And we have one at Temakom 25 that is also around 10 to 13,000 capacity, also running on a recirculating aquaculture system. So we have a lot of projects that we are carrying out now.
How much will it cost to set up a project like that?
It depends on the capacity and then the type of pond. So let's say 1,000 capacity, which most prospective farmers go in for. So 1,000 capacity, it will require you somewhere around 12,000 to set up a simple recirculating aquaculture system, the pond, the filtering system, and then probably the fishes. Okay, so we have group trainings which we organize every month. So our last training section was February. Yes, this February. We organize training sections in January, February, and then the upcoming one is March 29th and 30th of March. We are organizing a grow-out production training. We also organize hatching training, breeding. Yes, that is the production of fingerlings, juveniles, post-fingerlings, yes. We also offer that training section. And we also have a training on water management systems. That is the recirculating aquaculture system, the bioflux system, yes.
And how much?
Okay, so the group training is mostly 500 Ghana cedis for the grow-out production, and then the hatching is 1,000 Ghana cedis. But for personalized training sections, people interested for us to take them on a solo training, one-on-one with us, we charge 1,000 Ghana cedis for the grow-out production, and then with the hatching course, we charge 1,500 cedis for the personalized training sections. We also offer consultation. That is 1 hour consultation, either online or physical consultation. So the whole training course entails stocking to pre-stocking to post-stocking to harvest to processing. We teach everything about your production cycle, like everything about fish farming, how to test your water perimeters, how to set up your farm, how to process your fish, how to even grow supplementary feed, how to manage your water, how to improve on your water parameters if they are going out of range, how to identify good breed of fish, how to everything about fish farming. It tells a lot. You make a good use of your money if you register for this training section. And then we also have accommodation for those coming from far distance. Our last training sections, we had people coming all the way from Temale, Kumasi. So we have hotel accommodations there at a lower cost, but it comes with a cost, yes, but at a discount cost, yes, where we hold our training sections.
So, I mean, someone can say, I can get this information online. What's so unique about?
Yes. Even on our YouTube channels, we have a lot of educative videos. What we teach on in our training sections, we also try to give some out for free. But then what you get by joining the physical training is to get a physical view of what we are trying to teach you. Because when we talk about hatching, when you come, we hatch. We hatch physically for you to see how it's done. You get to practice yourself as well. When we talk about sorting, when you come for the training section, the practical section, you get to sort the fishes yourself. If we talk about processing, we get to process the fish yourself. If we talk about supplementary feeds, you get to culture it yourself, construct the pond. We do everything practical. That is the practical base. And we all know that getting an online training is good, but it's not as effective as getting a physical training sections.
That was what you got and lost.
Yes. I watched so many videos. I watched about, if I'm not bragging, I watched about 100 hours of videos on YouTube before starting my catfish farm. But what I feel to make use of is that I think these online sections, they will teach you whatever you need, but how to put them into practice is also another challenge. Yes.
Okay. And more importantly, do you also connect your students to the available markets?
Oh, yes. When you attend our training sections and then probably you want to set up your farm, mostly our students, they attend the training sections, and after the training sections, they are more confident. They feel confident to set up the farm on their own because of the kind of information we relay to them. So after setting up their farm, we guide them as well. We supply them with the fingerlings, and after production, why not? If you purchase our fingerlings and we have market, why not? We always link them to potential buyers. Yes.
Okay.
It's profitable, yes. Maybe a little bit profitable than the grow-out production tree. The profit margin is quite impressive, but then we hatch on contract basis. Let's say a farm with 200,000 capacity, 100,000. The latest one we hatched for had about 100,000 capacity farm. So he contracted us to hatch for him. We hatched about 130,000 fishes. He took the 100,000 fishes, and the rest we sold it to the small farms. So these are the ones remaining. Even someone has already paid for 4,000 fishes. So if he comes, these fishes are all gone.
Josh, you are really cashing out too.
Okay. Juvenile is sold as 2 cedis. And post fingerlings 1 cedi, 50 pesos, sorry, and then fingerlings 1 cedi.